Welcome to Sravz Technical Series. In today's session, we'll go over the earnings analysis page. In the previous discussion, we created this Matplotlib chart and then we tested that using the Rust client. So in today's session, we integrated the Rust backend with the front end, which is in Angular. In this chart, we see the log adjusted close price of a ticker, and then we overlay the earnings surprise as a bubble. So if it's a red bubble, that means it's a negative earnings. Green bubbles means they are positive earnings. So based on the bubble size, we can determine if it is a large earning surprise and accordingly how the stock prices moved. For example, in this case, it was a large red bubble and the stock price has fallen. So I picked MatadorResources.com as an example. But continue with the other tickers. I'll pick some more tickers. So now say example Bank of Princeton, and the service is pretty fast. Before I had it in Python, it took a while, but the Rust client is Rust backend is much faster. So I clicked on Bank of Princeton and it should come through anytime. Okay, Bank of Princeton, log adjusted close price. So it shows the price changes accordingly. I'll pick one more. Let's pick Block Incorporation. So the ticker is SQ. We'll just wait for a bit. It should display in a moment. Okay, so SQ block, it displays the log adjusted price and the earnings surprise. The larger red dot implies a negative earnings surprise, so it has fallen. Whenever it was negative, it has fallen. So at a later point, we can do historical analysis of these earnings surprises and accordingly try to predict the future earnings surprise. So for today, just wanted to show that the plot shows in the UI and it is deployed to production. So next I'll go through the code base. So this is the source code. Once you click on the source code link, it will take you to the tech Angular section, earnings analytics page. So in this one, I'll just show the Angular portion of the code base, just the service. The component is straightforward. I'll show how I use how I included the analytics service in the component. So the code is also at this gist. I'll go back to the VS Code and show the analytics service.ts code. So it's a large TypeScript file. We have to break it down and maybe use some library like RX store, NGX RX store. But for now, we just use observer subscriber pattern. So I'll show that in a bit. We have the analytics service defined here. Then we have bunch of constants. I'll go back to the gist. Then we have bunch of constants defined. And then we have a topic which is behavior subject. A behavior subject in Angular has a certain properties. A behavior subject, okay. A behavior subject in RxJS, I just got this from behavior subject documentation. It needs an initial value, and then once the subscriber subscribes, it immediately gives the initial value and it will always hold the latest value. So there's only one value in the behavior subject. So using behavior subject, we integrate the UI component and the service. So we make a web service call to the Rust backend. The Rust backend will return a value. Once a value is returned, the subscribers will be notified. I'll show the earnings component real quick. So in the earnings component, we subscribe to the behavior subject, and once we get information on the Rust topic with the message ID, we get the URL to the S3 and then we save it in the component and we display the earnings URL in the UI. And that's how we are doing the like this. So like this, and I'll click one more ticker, natural gas NGS. So natural gas services, I clicked on that and I got the graph for that ticker. We'll click on one more ticker, for example Fibrogen Incorporation, and we should get the plot momentarily. So FibrexGen earnings surprises are displayed here. I'll go back to the VS Code and I'll show the component once again. So we get the message ID, we save the URL, and once we have the URL, we display it in the UI. ng if the URL is present, we display it, or else we won't display the image. And the image is stored to S3, and through WebSockets, we're getting the S3 URL, and then we display it in the UI. So with that, I'll close today's session. If you have any questions or comments, please reach me out. In the meantime, you can go over the code base here in the gist or in the blog post here in the earnings analytics page. Thank you for watching.